So let's render this toy tractor. My first idea is using a spotlight. Okay, I'm gonna load my Studio Basic preset. And first we need to create some sort of a base on which the tractor would stand. So I'm going to create a VRay plane. It's an infinite plane. It's quite useful in some situations. And assign a basic flat gray VRay material to it. Right, and we need a camera as well. Okay, so a VRay physical cam. Alright. So since this is a toy, not a real tractor, we would probably use the focal length of something like 50 to 100. I'm gonna try 50. And let's rotate the tractor itself. And the reason why we can't really use wide focal length is because in real life macro lenses usually come in length from 50 to 200 millimeters, and it's quite rare to have one shorter than that. So if you render it with a wide angle lens, it would look weird proportionally. It would look like a real tractor, not a toy tractor. So if you are going for a real tractor, that's the way to go. Just create a wider angle lens and go with that. Alright. So I think this is a nice starting point. And now let's add a regular spotlight. Go to your standard lights, choose the target spot, and just drag it like this. Okay. And let's see how it looks with VRay RT. Go to your active shade and launch the VRay RT. Yeah, that's too big. I'm going to reduce the size. And here you go. Looks like we need to fix our camera. Just reset the white balance. Let's turn off the vignetting. We can add it later in post. And reduce the shutter speed. Alright. Now reselect your spotlight. So first make sure it has the VRay shadows enabled. These are the most realistic type of shadow to use with VRay, so we want to use that. And then you can adjust the intensity multiplier. Let's make it quite bright, maybe slightly yellow, just a tiny bit. And now we need to position our spotlight. I'm gonna start by moving the target. And now let's move the light itself. Okay, the spot looks nice, but the border is a bit too sharp. Okay, maybe let's bring it slightly back. And move a bit with our camera. And make sure the whole spot is inside my rendered area. Like this. Okay, and let's go back to our spotlight. So first let's slightly decrease the fall of field to reduce the size of the spot. And we need to move the target a bit as well. I want to center it. Alright, that's nice. Now let's reselect our spotlight. Alright, so I want a smoother transition between the hard white light and the black area around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the hotspot. And increase the fall of field a bit. So now the transition is a bit smoother. And I also want to change my shadow type from regular shadows to area shadows, just to soften them a bit. Okay, that's nice. Maybe increase the subdues. And that's a good start. Alright, now we need to add some fill lights. For example, I want some light on this back area here. So I'm going to create a VRay light. Just a simple VRay plane. I'll rotate it like this. Let's adjust the position. Okay, first of all, I don't want any reflections from it, so I'm going to turn off the reflections and speculars. And let's make it invisible as well. Alright, maybe like this. And I want to change the color of this light to something warmer. And more saturated, like this. So I think that's nice. Maybe a bit too large. And I also want to exclude the ground plane from this light, so I'm going to go to my exclude tab and add the VRay plane. Since we're just using VRay RT at the moment, the effect will not be seen, but in your final render there will be no light cast on the ground. Alright, let's add another filler. Just copy it. And let's light this area of the front. Okay. And now we also need some reflections on our tractor. Okay. So I'm going to create a large VRay plane light. And position it behind the camera. And for this light I want to turn on the reflections and speculars. Okay. Let's increase the size more. And experiment with the position to get some decent reflections in there. I also want these reflections to be white, so let's change the color to white. And one more thing, we want to add a texture to this light. So maybe some sort of a gradient. You'll probably notice that I really like using gradients on my lights. Okay, so let's start with this one. Put an instance there. Close my active shade. Let's open that again. let's rotate the gradient 90 degrees, yeah, like that. That's nice. And let's mix it. Let's make the borders darker. So give it a mix map, keep old map as submap, and we want to add some black color to the borders. So set the second color to black, and let's use a gradient ramp as the mix amount. I'm just gonna set it to I'm gonna set it to box. Okay, so this is the resulting gradient we just created. And just swap around the colors if the result is not what you're looking for. For example, here it's inverted, so let's swap it and it looks perfect. Right. So that's good. I'm gonna just go ahead and exclude the plane from the light, so it just lights the tractor. Okay, maybe let's reduce the intensity a bit. Right, next step, I want to add some light from the back. Let's go ahead and create a VRay plane light behind the tractor. Okay, let's play with the size. And increase the intensity. All right. That might be good. Let's reduce it a bit. Right, let's exclude the VRay plane from lighting and check out with the production renderer to see how it looks. Alright, and here we have a little problem. Looks like the intense yellow color of the tractor is creating some unwanted yellow spots on the VRay plane. We're gonna try and fix that by going into our VRay planes, VRay properties. So just go in there and turn off visible to GI. Right, close and re-render. Okay, sorry, VRay properties, turn off receive GI and re-render. Okay, that's better. Okay, the result looks alright. I think we want some more more reflections on this front part here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy the slide. Make a copy. Let's make it smaller. And try to position it so that it reflects in this area here. Alright, and now I'm going to turn off Affect Diffuse so that it only adds some reflections. Okay. And let's reselect our spotlight and make it slightly more warm. Like this. Let's do the same thing for the large light behind the tractor. Okay, let's check out the production renderer. I think the final result is quite alright. Okay, so that's the first setup for this tractor.